Hi Chestnuts, we're going to be going through our learning journey for today, where we're going to be answering the question, can I explain why we need muscles to move? To be successful, we need to explain how muscles allow movement, identify pairs of muscles in the body, and set up a simple practical inquiry. So we're going to start with our reflection, and we're going to think about the fact that yesterday we looked at joints and how they help us move. Remember, joints join our bones together, and there are three main types of joints: ball and socket, hinge and gliding. If you want to, you could pause the video and just have a look back over what we did yesterday and how you were recognising which joints move when we do different movements like walking, running, talking and different things like that. The first thing we're going to do is watch a video to link what we've learnt so far to our new learning today.
It's quiet and everyone is fast asleep. Muscles and bones keep us moving 24 hours a day, even when we're asleep. Without muscles or bones, we wouldn't even be able to get out of bed, or even smile or blink. Our skeletons are made of bones. They give our bodies shape and support our weight. Imagine what my hands would look like if they didn't have any bones to support them. Try shaking hands with hands like these. Not all animals have their skeletons on the inside of their bodies like ours. Some animals, like crabs and lobsters, have their skeletons on the outside, and this is called an exoskeleton. It protects their inner parts from harm. Our skeletons help protect us too. Bones called ribs protect our heart and lungs, and our skull protects our brain and eyes. Our skeleton has over 200 bones, from the largest, our leg bone or our femur, to the smallest, the bones in our ears. Bones are made of calcium and other minerals. This makes them strong but slightly flexible, and this property helps protect and support the body. Skeletons can't move by themselves. I can make it move because it has joints. But to make it really move, it needs muscles. Muscles can only pull, they can't push. This is why our joints are controlled by more than one muscle. For example, our elbow joint in the arm has two muscles to move your forearm up and down. These are the biceps that pull your arm up and the triceps that pull your arm down. Our muscles are a little bit like elastic bands. They can get longer or shorter. Often, our muscles work in pairs to move our bodies. In our leg, if the muscle on the back of our thigh contracts and gets shorter, it bends our leg at our knee joint. If we want to extend our leg, the muscle on the front of our thigh contracts and gets shorter, and it extends our leg. Lots of different muscles work together to help us move and do lots of different things like running around, jumping up and down, throwing balls and scoring goals.
So that video taught us that muscles come in pairs and muscles can only pull, not push. So if we think about movement, we think, how do skeletons move the body? Can you tell your brain to move your leg? Did it move? Along with our bones, we need our muscles to help our body move, and that's what it discussed in the video. So even though we've got our joints, we need our muscles to help us. But what are muscles? So our bodies are made up of different types of cells, and cells form to make tissue. And skeletal muscles are made of just muscle tissue, okay? So those are what are helping us to move. Whereas in our organs, they are made up of more than one type of tissue, okay? Like our hearts. Let's think of flexible fibres. The muscles that attach to your bones, which are the skeletal muscles we just talked about, are made of cells called muscle fibres. Inside these are lots of tiny rods that shorten, which means contract, to make a muscle pull. A muscle pulls on the bone it is connected to and makes it move. As well as skeletal muscle, your body contains two other types of muscle that are different in structure and the jobs that they do, but they are also made of muscle fibres. Smooth muscle makes things move inside your body. For example, it pushes food through your intestine. Your heart muscle is incredibly strong and it continually squeezes to pump blood around your body, but it doesn't tire out. Muscles move your eyeballs up to 5 times a second to scan your surroundings. So hopefully you can understand there really how important our muscles are. So skeletal muscles are attached to bones and enable movement. Okay, but some organs have muscle tissue. Which are the ones we just spoke about? Things like the heart that pumps the blood around our body, and our intestine that pumps food through our bodies. And then we've got our muscles around our eyes that help us continually scan the environment. That links to voluntary and involuntary because some muscle movement is voluntary and we can control it. Other muscle movement is involuntary and we don't have control over it. So if you look at the two pictures we've got there, which one do you think shows voluntary muscle movement and which one shows involuntary? Pause the video and have a think. Maybe there's someone in the room you could talk to about it. Which one can you choose to do, which is therefore voluntary, and which one can't you choose to do and it does it all by itself? Hopefully you thought about the fact that to move your arm like that, you're choosing to move it. Whereas your heart, it has its involuntary movement because it pumps it all by itself. You don't need to tell the heart to pump. So muscle power. Muscles work by contracting, which means they shorten. So remember in the video clip, she talked about it being like an elastic band, and when you pull it and contract it, when it gets smaller, the arm moved up. As a muscle contracts, it pulls. Typically, the larger the muscle, the more powerfully it pulls. Muscles can pull but not push, remember? They work in pairs that pull in opposite directions. So, for example, with our arm, so that we can move it up, that uses one muscle, and moving it down moves the other. When one muscle pulls, its partner relaxes. For example, the hip and thigh muscles work together to make your leg kick. The muscles at the front of your thigh swing your leg forward and straighten it at the knee, while your muscles in the back of your thigh relax. Muscles are fastened to bones by tough cords called tendons. So try wiggling your finger. You can see the tendons move in the back of your hand. Muscle cells release enough heat every day to boil almost 1 litre of water an hour. That's impressive, isn't it? So this is what we were talking about here. So you've got the hamstring muscle at the back of your thigh, contracts to bend your knee and swing your leg backwards, so it's got shorter. Whereas then the quadricep, which is the muscle at the front of your thigh, relaxes. And then if you were to kick the ball, the quadricep would contract and get smaller, and the hamstring would relax, releasing your leg to go forwards. There's another website, which links to the one that we looked at yesterday, that might help you understand that a bit more. I'll put the link to this website on Dojo, and it says that every time you move, you use muscles. Muscles make you walk, blink, and smile. Some muscles work without you thinking about them, but others need to be told to move. All muscles work by contracting, which is getting shorter and fatter, which makes them pull or squeeze. About 650 of your muscles are wrapped around the bones of your skeleton, and they move your body by pulling on the bones. Together they form the muscular system, which makes up 40% of your body weight. So let's have a look. Your chest, for example. This large muscle is called the pectoralis, and it pulls your arm forwards and rotates it inwards. What about your forehead? The muscles raise your eyebrow when you look surprised. In your cheek, facial muscles help you to express yourself. This muscle in your cheek pulls on the side of your mouth when you smile. Let's look at one more. Shoulder. This triangular muscle is called the deltoid, and it lifts your arm away from the body. So what you might want to do is have a look on this website, and you can also look at some of the muscles that you can find at the back of your body as well. Let's move on to your task. What you're going to do today is you're going to have a go at predicting what muscles you'll use when running and when reading. And then you're going to do the activity and see if you were right. So you can see there's a picture of someone running. You need to predict before the activity. You're going to circle the muscles that you think you're going to use. And then after the activity, so have a go at running, what muscles do you think you did use? And then you're going to do the same for reading. So when you're reading, which muscles do you think you're using? Then have a go and see which ones you did. And then there's 2 questions to answer. What do muscles do? And how and why do muscles move in pairs? Remember, you can look back through this video or go on the website that I'm going to give you a link to as well. I think muscles are really interesting because I don't think sometimes we realise how much they actually help us. See you later, chestnuts. Bye.